I can tell you as someone who went to college for a little while that college only makes sense if you go there looking to network with other smart, like-minded, ambitious people. Because if you just go there just to party and have fun, yes, don't get me wrong, it's a blast. It's so much fun. I had so much fun in my college days, but looking back, man, I wouldn't consider that to be a great investment because I went to a super expensive liberal arts school. I didn't really learn anything, just to be completely honest. I played basketball for a year there. I ended up quitting, ended up dropping out, and I wouldn't suggest college to most people unless they were going to specifically network with other people who were hungry and looking to make moves in their life, right? And just to be clear, I don't think college is for everybody. I think most people I think would get a lot more value out of just as soon as they get out of high school, just getting right to work, right? Going to study the trades or become a plumber or just learn an online skill like I talk about in these videos. I think people would be much better off working a job for, let's say, 3 4 years, maybe 4 or 5 years even, the same time that you got two people, one person who's getting out of high school and they go to college, and another guy who gets out of high school and goes directly to work. I think that person who gets to work and gets into the real world as soon as possible and starts making a little bit of money, starts developing their skill set, starts to network and meet other people who are in that workforce. Man, I think that person's going to be so much farther along than the person who's over there partying and hanging out the entire time. And again, I'm not some anti-partying person who, doesn't want to have any fun and, all he wants to do is work. That's not that's not me. I've had plenty of fun in college. I did all kinds of fun stuff and, even outside of college when I was working, I lived in a college town. I had all my buddies went to school, but I didn't go to school, but I went to all their parties and hung out with them. So, it is what it is. My point is though, I think college, for the most part, is a scam. I think you guys all know the reasons why. You're not going to learn anything that's really going to help you in life going to college if you're just going to go study business or liberal arts or, you know, marketing or economic. Like those are BS degrees, man. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to use that. You might learn one or two things there, but that's something you could have learned on YouTube. If you would have committed the exact same amount of time, the exact same amount of money, even a portion of that money that you would spend on college just to pay mentors, to buy courses, to buy books, and you committed to studying just like you did if you were in college, man, you're going to be so much farther ahead than these people because these people are out there learning stupid stuff that's not going to apply to them. They're learning things that are outdated. The world is moving way too fast for college and textbooks and all the traditional stuff that they talk about there. You're not going to learn this kind of stuff, man. You're not going to learn anything that's going to actually help you in your career. Dude, I've been in the workforce for about 8.5, 9 years. I don't even know how long it's been, but coming close to a decade. Not once has someone asked where I went to school, what I studied. Not once. And this is coming from a college dropout, just to be clear. So like there's nobody has asked that. If you know your stuff and if you're an expert in whatever it is that you do, I don't care what it is. If you're an expert and a professional, nobody cares. Okay? Your pedigree means nothing in this world. It really does. Pedigrees mean nothing. The only thing that matters are results. If you can produce results for me, that's all I care about. Nobody cares, guys. People put way too much focus and emphasis on where you went to school, what you studied, how good your grades were. Dude, you can get a 4.0 straight through college, straight through high school. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a single shit in the real world, man. It means nothing. Nobody cares. The people who succeed usually didn't get 4.0s, in high school and college. They just, what they did? They went out and made shit happen. That's how you become successful. You go out and make shit happen. You don't become successful doing every single little thing by the book and not, breaking any kind of rules. And that's not how you do it, man. Look online, look on all these successful people that you guys probably look up to already. Do those people look like they were, completely committed to doing things the structured and traditional way? No, man, that's just not reality, right? I think college is a complete waste of time for most people, man. I think the ideal situation would be for you to get to work straight out of high school, hustle for real, and take your career seriously. Commit to learning as much as you possibly can because the truth is, when you're 18 years old and 25 years old, whatever it is, you're so stupid. It's just insane. This is coming from a stupid person myself. I didn't realize how dumb I was until I started getting around smart people, and that's just the reality. Nothing against you. It's just the reality. When you're young, you're stupid, but that comes with time. It is what it is. Um, the older people that might be watching this are probably like, yeah. But dude, man, go and get to work. Start making some money. I don't care what it is, dude. If you make 20 grand a year, start making some money. You're making 25, let's say you're making 25 grand a year. You do that for 4 years, you just made 100 grand, you know, minus a little bit of that from taxes, right? The other person who's been in college the entire time, you know how much they made? Zero, right? So you got not just the $100,000, let's call it 75, $60,000 from, tax that you've already after taxes. You got $60,000 that you can invest compared to that other person who has nothing. They don't have the work experience. They don't have the 60K. They don't have the connections they've developed. They don't have the, you know, credentials that they've developed after working for XYZ company or starting their business and doing it themselves for 4 years. That's valuable, guys. That's the real, those are the real credentials that matter in the real world. How long have you been doing this? Oh, well, I've been doing this for 8.5 years, 9 years, whatever it might be, right? As opposed to, oh, well, I studied about it in a textbook that was made in 1980. It's like, dude, people have this all mixed up, man. These textbooks, these colleges, these professors, these people haven't done whatever it is you're trying to do. Like, seriously, man, we got to get real about this. If you're going to go be a doctor, okay, college makes sense. But most people aren't going to be a doctor, right? And most doctors even are broke. I mean, that's just the reality. That's why they have to work until they're 70 something years old. I mean, that's just the truth. Most doctors come out of college like 400 or 500 grand in debt, when they start their residency. That's just the reality, man. That's not you. That's not me. If that's what you want to do, more power to you. If you want to be a lawyer, probably need to go to college. But honestly, I don't even think you need to do that. If you wanted to become a lawyer, instead of you paying $100,000 to go get schooling in education, I would spend 15, $20,000 on online courses and books and study the crap out of that and show up to take your bar and pass that and become a lawyer. You don't even need to go to college for that anymore. As long as you produce the end result, which is passing the bar, that's all that matters, right? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there's some lawyers that can let me know in the comments, but I mean, dude, the world is changing. You don't have to do all the things that you traditionally had to do. In 1960 and 1950, you had to go to college to get a good job. But that's not the way it is anymore, man. The internet has changed everything. It's democratized education and made it possible for regular people like you and me to make good money and build careers and build real success by utilizing the tools that we have online and the education that we have online, man. There's people out there that are doing whatever it is that you want to do at a very high level, and they're sharing that information for free. And it would be absolutely bonkers to me for someone to ignore that and just go pay, $100,000, $120,000 for a degree, man. I know people that have, I'm not even joking around. I know people that have six figures in student loan debt, and they went and got like art degrees or social studies degrees or, you know, it's just crazy, man. I can't believe how much money some of these people spend on college. I can't believe how much, the lack of thought that goes into some of these decisions. It's crazy to me. But again, just like I mentioned earlier, when you're young, you don't really think about this kind of stuff. You think it's going to be fine, but you don't want to get sucked into that trap of going to college just to go to college and kind of floating around aimlessly and not doing anything, with intent, because that's where you get in real trouble, man. If you go to college, this is my final thing I'll say. If you go to college with the intent to learn as much as you possibly can, and network with other people who want to build businesses, who want to be, who want to, build success. Network with those guys, man. They're probably the nerds. That's the reality. Nerds run the world. That's perfectly fine. Network with those guys, man. Talk to those people. Become friends with them. Become friends with the people that have rich parents. That's another little secret hack. You want to be friends with the guys that have rich parents, that have good jobs, good careers, they own businesses. Those people can hook you up, right? If you go and become friends with, little Johnny who goes to school with you in college, and you two are best friends, you go hang out with him at his parents, maybe one semester or whatever for, a little break. You meet his dad. His dad has a big company. Maybe he hooks you up and gets you a job. These things happen every single day, man. It's a political game. You have to make friends. You have to build relationships. You have to do these things. And if you're going to go to college, that's great. But I would go to college and I would tell, my kids or anybody that might be listening, I would tell you to go to college with that intention of networking and meeting other people who are going to be successful in life that you can build businesses with, you can network with, you can make money with long term, and someone that you're going to be close with to kind of be your sidekick with taking on life, right? That's what I would suggest. But again, not a one size fits all answer. This is just kind of my thoughts on college in general, and the advice I would give to my little brother if I had one, or myself if I was 18 years old again. So anyway, guys, hope this helps you guys out. Let me know what your thoughts are. Give me a like or a comment on this video. That would very much help the channel. Would love to hear your guys' feedback on this video, and if this was helpful or if it wasn't helpful, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So again, like, comment, subscribe. That'd be super helpful. I would very much appreciate it. Love you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.